What if I told you that some childish adults are actually more mentally healthy than serious ones? Most people think being silly means you're immature, but psychology suggests something surprising. In fact, one of the traits we'll talk about today is strongly linked to emotional resilience, and only few knows about it. You've probably met someone like this. They laugh easily, make random jokes, act playful even in serious situations. And people say, "Why are you so childish?" But here's what's actually happening. They've stayed connected to something often called the inner child, the part of you that holds curiosity, playfulness, and emotional openness. Most people suppress it as they grow up, but some people don't. And no, that's not a bad thing. If you're like this, you've probably been told to act your age, but in reality, you just never shut down the part of you that feels alive. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Some childish behavior isn't just personality, it's protection. People who joke a lot, act silly, or avoid seriousness often use humor to deal with the stress. When things get uncomfortable, they laugh, they joke, they shift the mood. But here's the part most people miss. The funniest people are dealing with the most pressure inside. You've probably laughed something off before, even when it actually bothered you. That's not immaturity, that's survival. Most adults follow invisible rules. Act serious, be professional, be a role model. But childish or silly adults, they don't fully follow those rules. And this is where most people misunderstood. They're not trying to be annoying. They're just not trying to fit in. If this is you, you've probably been called weird or not serious enough, but in reality, you're just less controlled by what other people expect. Childish adults often keep something most people lose. It's the curiosity. They ask random questions, they explore ideas, they don't pretend to know everything. And curiosity is not childish, it's intelligence. In fact, curiosity is linked to creativity, learning, and problem solving. People who act too serious sometimes lose this, but childish adults, they keep it. Now let's be real. Not all childish behavior is healthy. There's a difference between being playful and avoiding reality. Some people act childish because they don't want to face problems, responsibility, consequences. And this is where the line gets crossed, because being playful is strength, but avoiding life is something else entirely. Here's one of the most surprising part. Some silly adults actually handle stress better than others. Why? Because they don't think of everything so seriously. When something stressful happens, some people panic, overthink, and spiral. But others, they laugh, they shrug, they move on faster. And that flexibility is powerful, because not everything in life needs to feel heavy. Remember earlier when I mentioned a trait linked to emotional resilience? This is it. Childish or playful adults are often more flexible mentally. They can adapt, they can bounce back, they don't stay stuck as long. And that's something many serious people struggle with. Because when you're too rigid, you break under pressure. But when you're flexible, you recover faster. Now I'm curious. Do you think being childish as an adult is a strength or a weakness? Comment your thoughts. And if this video felt a little too relatable, hit the subscribe button for more self-awareness videos.